So I recently had the pleasure of completing my Insights profile, where I was shown to have a tendency towards earth green. And when I had a look through the descriptors of what this actually means, it didn't really come as a massive surprise to me. So I've always thought that I'd had a tendency towards collaborative processes and also democratic decision making in problem solving. So this is something that I've tried to incorporate both into my lessons as a teacher, but then also into the way that I lead, and particularly into the way that I lead meetings. And because of this, I've experienced many of the pitfalls that go with that. So endless debates that lead to problems not actually being solved or being anywhere near being solved. And the same voices monopolising all of the time and the airways within the meeting. Interestingly, actually, some of those times, I think if I'm not running the meeting, I tended to be one of those voices. So I was introduced to design thinking and some basic principles of sprints a couple of years ago. And I incorporated one small aspect of that into the way that I ran meetings. So it's called Thinking Together Alone. And in its most simple sense, it's just a way of generating ideas together in silence and also giving feedback in silence. And it really revolutionized the way that I conducted my meetings. And I noticed that the quality of the ideas and the decision making was much improved. And I noticed that really great team members who perhaps didn't speak as much in meetings, or were not allowed to speak in those meetings, began to take a much more active role. So the quality of ideas and problem solving was much improved. One of the biggest and most important pieces of feedback that led me to believe that yes, this is the path to go down is that one of those really great team members who wasn't normally vocal in meetings really engaged with the process, but she came up to me after the meeting and said that was the best training I've ever been in. And it was the best training because she had an opportunity to really get those great ideas out there. So it led me to think, well, how else can I use this? And I began to incorporate that into all of the student voice activities that we did as a school, but then also into my classroom practice. And there were some very effective and simple ways that we can use this in classroom practice to really aid collaboration, critical thinking, and ultimately the learning process. So I just wanted to share a little bit there, because this week we'll be launching a series of micro lessons on how you might use design thinking, and particularly thinking together alone in your classrooms.